Hi Rohit, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Hey,
Tarun.
am I audible to you
Yeah, you're
clearly?
audible. Yep, yep.
Clear. Cool. So if I'm audible to you, assuming that we are audible to our audience as well, right? Cool, cool. So people who are joining us via YouTube, Zoom, wherever, okay. So you can see a face on the screen which needs no introduction today, okay. So we have with us Mr. Rohit Jam, who is Vice President Human Resources at Accenture, who not only leads one particular function, who actually leads all the entry level hiring for multiple businesses at Accenture. Right. Today, we are pleased to have you with us, Rohit. Okay. Thank you so very much for taking out time for, I'll say, the audience which needs you the most today, because these are the folks who are most nervous, I'll say, or who are most excited at the same time to hear from a leader like you that what Accenture is doing. And as you know that out of a poll, we have actually received a lots and lots of queries and questions, right? Though we'll not be able to take them all, but we'll try and catch few of them. So welcome, Rohit. Welcome to
Sure,
the first job talk.
sure. Thanks, Tarun. I don't think they need to be nervous. I think they should be excited.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
Cool. So, Rohit, I would love to start our chat with, I'll say, one of the frequently asked or one of the most asked question from our audience, which is that how do you think the job landscape shaping up in India for engineers in 2021 and 2022? What is your thought on that?
Uh, Thanks, Tarun. I think this is really a very valid question in the mind of all the young engineers who are aspiring to start their career in IT industry. I think it's very important for us to understand the current situation which all of us are in. Like as all of us know that when pandemic hit us, companies who were suddenly they realized that the traditional way of working will not help them to sustain. Forget about growing in the time of crisis. We all know that what happened when the pandemic struck India.
True.
Retail was shut down, travel and hotel industry was shut down. Patients were not visiting hospitals. Customers went online to buy uh, grocery. Students went online to attend school. Right. Doctors' visits became online. Even work moved remote. Right. And what suddenly happened is that the companies who had a 3 or 4 year, 10-year vision in terms of transforming their business, suddenly they had a pressing need to reach to their customer through alternate channel. And
Right.
that resulted into and what we called and what our CEO called is a very compressed transformation. And what you will witness also in next few years now is that the entire industry or companies across the market, they are right now rethinking about their digital experience and how they will leverage technology to reach to their customers. And a lot of enterprises who were conservatively spending 3 to 4% of their revenue on technology now have an aggressive plan to spend approximately 5% of their revenue on technology. Now, when there was a sudden need for more transformation work which start coming to IT industry had to immediately cater to the increased need of talent. Now,
True.
how did that demand got fulfilled? Now, suddenly when there was an increase in the work which IT companies start receiving from various clients, the IT industry started hiring more and more experienced talent. The moment they started experienced talent, their organization structure became more a diamond shape structure. When I say
Okay.
diamond shape structure means it got suddenly heavy in the middle. And that is not really a very sustainable model because cost to serve clients increase drastically if you are very heavy structure at the middle level or more experienced talent. So hence now industry has realized that they need to balance this by hiring more and more fresher or entry level talent. And and all the organizations, we also strongly believe that young talent, young engineers uh, are the one who are really social, they are tech savvy, they are malleable, they are quick to learn, and of course unlearn too. And if we invest in them, they can really very effectively deliver to various work areas which are not only required nowadays to run the business in the new, but also to manage digital transformation. So you will see that with this change and more companies now starting entry level talent, the diamond shape structure will start getting its earlier shape, which is a pyramid structure where more and more talent will now get hired at the entry level. So you will see now, I think not only me, I think the talent who's attending the webinar right now, they will certainly see that more and more opportunities will start coming their way. Companies will now be more aggressive in hiring talent from colleges. They will not only hire from colleges, they'll also run a lot of direct hiring program to attract talent. And not only engineering talent, even talent beyond engineering streams too. And we'll focus significantly on investing in talent, get them ready for the nature of work which is coming their way. So understand in 2020, industry immediately had to go conservative, and a lot of opportunities which otherwise come to the young engineering talent, those opportunities shrunk for a while in 2020. But now you will see a significant increase in demand, and entire industry is now hiring more and more young talent at the entry level.
Cool, cool. Quite a, I'll say, elaborative way to tell that, what is going to happen, how these diamond structures are going to take places. Nice, which actually takes me to my next question, and which is that what are those relevant job roles at Accenture for these budding engineers?
Sure. So before I talk about the various job roles which we have at Accenture, you need to understand that what are the various technology capabilities which we have. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we have capability in software engineering, platform services, cloud, infrastructure engineering, in security, automation, and application management. Okay. So the nature of projects which we have for our client, they're spread across development, transformation, implementation. Okay. And also maintenance of software products and systems. So when talk about the nature of opportunities for young engineers, they are vast. Like I can name few of them. The one nature of responsibility or role could be working in the development side, where you have to design, develop, or maintain the set of products or systems or technologies. Okay. That is one set of role. Second set of role is where a lot of transformation work or a deep technology work is happening in the emerging tech area, primarily to help businesses to grow or expand their reach or reach out to the new customer segment altogether. And also the emerging need now post-COVID, where companies have to heavily invest in transformation to reach out to their customers. So that's another area where there are a lot of roles for budding engineering talent who, especially of them who have really some level of, I would say, expertise and knowledge in the area of newest technologies like AI, robotic, blockchain, machine learning, and also in data and analytics. That's the second set of role. I think, and the third set of role, which is very much what we call is running business as usual, right? And these are the roles which are spread across the various services and delivery which we manage for our client. Now, this could be roles spread across support, functional testing, maintenance, project management, low code, no code app development kind of work. There's another third area where a lot of opportunities for young engineering talent. And fourth area which I'll talk about is what we call the functional and platform areas. Okay, there are a lot of platform areas around Salesforce, Pega, ServiceNow, Cloud, where we need talent who come with some specialization of particular industry, or they come with knowledge of particular platform. That's another talent where you need who probably focus a lot on building user requirement for various solutions which are required for different industry, spread across, creating a complete architecture of the requirement, configuration, administration, and integration. So I would say the vast variety of roles, depending upon uh, how are you able to demonstrate your capability during the hiring process to grab these roles.
Interesting. So as you mentioned that these many roles exist at Accenture to explore for these budding engineer, what do you think? Like, what engineering fields are the most sought after in your organization now?
Mhm. Okay, I'll just uh, approach this question slightly differently.
Sure, sure. You have
See,
all the freedom to take the question in your perspective.
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely, sure.
yeah. So I'll not say like one specialization is more sought after than the other. I think one major change which we have brought in our hiring process is that we welcome engineering students from all specializations which they come from. Okay. There was a time when industry was conservative and they used to hire only talent from CSIT and at best the circuit branches. Now,
Hmm.
we strongly believe that today the young engineering and talent is not only very much influenced or by their own curriculum. I think they're also investing a lot on the self-learning and
Agreed.
also grooming themselves in terms of what industry need. Hence, we made a very conscious change that we are open to hire students from any specialization, provided the students are able to clear our set of assessment. Okay. Now we run set of assessments to hire talent, and I will talk more about it in a while. But high level, if I talk about the kind of special account kind of assessments which students need to participate are the assessment which assess their cognitive skills, the assessment which assess their coding skills. Okay. Then we have an assessment which assess candidate communication skill. And we also assess the person's technical acumen. Even if you don't know coding, but what is your technical acumen and learning agility towards technical aspect of a role. Okay. Now all these things are really important. Now the uh, what we have observed, and that's also my advice to the young talent here, is that what we have observed that candidates who come from CSIT specialization, I've seen them performing better in this assessment. Maybe
Okay.
because their curriculum is more tuned towards getting better exposure to technical acumen or programming language. So we realize that in our selection process, and also when it comes to post selection, when the young talent join our organization and they go through pre onboarding learning, and they have a set of assessment which assess their capability and the knowledge around the various foundation skill and as well as stream skills, we realize that students from CSIT background tend to perform slightly better. And because of that, they get an advantage of moving to a role which are more what you call this and more what you call as development roles in the area of AI, ML, Informatica, big data. They tend to get those roles faster. Okay. Now, what we as an organization is consciously investing is that we ensure that irrespective of whichever stream you come from, we are investing in your foundation skill so that you come at par in terms of students from other education stream. Now, it all depends upon how much investment do you make to learn about the skills which are relevant in the current time. So our intention definitely is to bring students at par irrespective of whichever education stream come from. But if we realize that in spite of all the investment which we make, like during the first 2 years, uh, students who are coming from totally traditional or say non-CSIT and circuit branches,
Right.
then they end up taking roles in the area of what you call this Java.NET, application support, and also various roles in terms of roles in low code, no code kind of roles in platform like UiPath, Mendix, BPM, and Hype, those kind of roles. So, but yeah, uh, uh, what I like to share is that we are open to hire talent from all education background.
Good, good. So I think
Yeah,
it's a good insight for me that not only uh, you only make it to that job offer, but also while you said the pre-onboarding process is also very, very important, where you are
yeah,
investing as an organization.
yeah, yeah,
Nice. I think it's good strategy to bring all these students at par and then start their career
yeah,
from the same finish
yeah,
start line to the finishing line, which is
yeah,
nice. So
yeah.
very interestingly, I would love to ask that what exactly do you look for in a fresher candidate? Is it a core skill, or I'll say it's a human skill also, because a lot of people are talking about the human skill, which actually comes with the soft skill part.
Okay.
What is actually you look in the freshers today?
Okay. Again, like I usually stay from calling it like an hard skill and a soft skill. I mean,
Right.
all the skills are equally important. So I
Absolutely.
don't say one is hard and one is soft.
Right.
I call them technical or power skills, right? That's how
Power skill. That's new.
yeah, that's how I would term them. As I mentioned to you that we embrace students from different education background,
Right.
and uh, currently also while talking to you, job opportunities for students who did their engineering in 2020 and 2021 are currently open, and they can visit various social media sites and see the jobs being posted there for freshers, where we're hiring talent for immediate requirement month on month. Okay. And we have also initiated our campus hiring for 2022 from select colleges. Now, coming to in terms of specific skills, what we look at, I think which I just touched few minutes back is in era of automation and IoT and also in the Internet of Things. I think there is one skill which is programming or coding is something which is forming a base to really understand and implement any kind of tech solution. Okay.
Right.
So one skill which we really expect all engineering students to bring on table is their programming knowledge.
True.
Okay. Now, when I say programming knowledge, not only means that you learn to code into a lab environment. Okay. When you are learning to code, is very important that you also invest in learning the industry around it, right? Because we are working for clients across different industries, right? When you are developing a product or a software for a particular client, it's very important that you have good understanding of that industry. Okay, and I'd like to talk more about it in a while. But I think that so programming skill is one very important skill which we value. Now, talking about power skill, which is there are three, four skills under power skills which we value a lot. I think the first and foremost is your passion for learning.
Interesting.
Okay, all of us know that technologies are always evolving. What was relevant yesterday is not relevant today, and what's relevant today is not relevant tomorrow. So it's very important that you always stay invested in unlearning and learning what's happening, not only in the industry, but also always passionate about investing in yourself. Okay, because only when you invest in yourself, you will see that more and more career advancement opportunities will open for you. Okay. Second important power skill which we really value is the communication skills. Now, by communication skills, I don't mean how fluent you are in speaking English. By communication skills, I mean
let's break that myth actually.
yeah. So by communication skills, I mean is that are you able to articulate your point of view precisely, concisely, in a manner that is understood by the recipient. Now, recipient for you here could be your client, your internal customer, or could be a cohort of various cross-functional teams you're working with. And when you are working on any product solution, you also have to work on a lot of user requirement, right? And it's very important that you're able to ask right set of questions to generate a relevant user requirement and convert that into a document which is understood by everyone who is involved in designing a solution. So that aspect of communication is really important. Yeah.
Interesting.
Third very important power skill which I call right now is really very important is your solution mindset. Okay. Are you the one who look for possibilities, or are you the one who always talk about constraints?
Totally
what's your maturity in terms of handling a situation where you encounter a lot of bottlenecks? Okay, you encounter a lot of gray zone, right? It's easy for us to operate in a white zone and a black zone, but the moment it comes to gray zone, your thinking ability, your solution mindset is challenged a bit. Okay, so that's a third power skill which we really value a lot. And I think when I talked about that technology is evolving, it's constantly changing, it's very important that you should be open to embrace change, right? I think change management is one of the major focus area for all the managers today is that when you have to implement any change uh, for any particular product or solution, it's very important that the entire team who's involved into implementation of the change is bought in into that idea. Okay,
Correct.
so it's very important that you embrace change and you learn
But
how to
change with
operate
the
it with
acceptance. But change with the acceptance, right?
change with acceptance. Yeah.
Cool.
I think these are the couple of technical skill and power skills, Tarun, which we value and which are assessed not only through our set of assessments, but they're
Yeah.
also assessed during interview stage.
Cool. So I totally resonate with you that power skill is something which you are really either you are born with it, you develop it over the period of time, it is your personality. But I think when it comes to the core skills or which you call the technical skills, how valuable are the certifications or I'll say the internships while taking a hiring decision for an entry level engineer?
I think it's a very valid question. Very valid question. See, as I mentioned to you that our endeavor is through all our pre-onboarding learning investment is to ensure that the young talent whom we are hiring, we are able to bring them to the client project as fast as we can. Okay. So
Okay.
our on-the-job training and our mentorship program do take care of that. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, what we do is that at the time of application process and candidate apply to our jobs at Accenture, we do seek information on any kind of certification you hold or any language proficiency you have. Okay,
Okay.
because we work for multiple geographies. We work for Japan market, and if you have an N2 N1 language certificate and you're an engineer, it's a good combination, right? So what we do is that when you participate in our hiring assessment, I talked about technical and those power skills are important,
Yes.
irrespective of any role you apply for, right? Now, where your certification come into play? So if you have acquired certain market approved certification, for example, certification in Java, SAP, Salesforce,
Mhm.
Pega, Informatica, Spark, Hadoop, Adobe, Azure, any of these areas,
Right.
uh, or you have an Japanese language N2 N1 proficiency. Now, this information is used to make an intelligent decision on your deployment. Now, imagine like we invest a lot into your stream training. But if we come to know that after clearing all our assessment, you also hold the certification, that information is really very handy for the team who takes care of deployment of talent to the right role. So advantage we have is that if you come with certain certification, then your absorption or your deployment to that particular business unit is high, and those business also gain because at least you are coming with an I would say knowledge, as well as you have also invested your time to know about that particular stream. Okay, so
Right.
I think deployment decisions are more intelligent when we have this information. So as part of
Completely.
application process, we have started seeking this information from the very beginning.
Great, yeah, great. I think Rohit, you have made a very powerful statement that, and I think this can spark another level of energy into these entry-level folks that, hey, I'm developing my core or technical skills, but what if I also have this N1 level of any language proficiency, which I found it very, very, I'll say it might be the talk of the town maybe tomorrow. So yeah, interesting.
Okay,
Cool.
okay.
So, Rohit, tell us about that. What are those 2, 3 technologies on which you think Accenture is investing heavily, or let's say,
Okay.
which are going to be those technologies on which these folks are required to pay attention on in next, let's say, couple
Okay.
of years from now?
Sure. So I'll just talk about 2, 3 top technologies. I think, and some of it is also has got accelerated because of the current pandemic time. So we all know that today, most of the clients they want to move to cloud,
Right.
and what we call is that they business always has to be on, right?
Yes.
Uh, so what pandemic has done is that it has accelerated the pace of moving to the cloud. So one area where there's also an more emerging need of talent is cloud engineers.
Okay.
Talent in the area of application infrastructure, talent who has good understanding of not only cloud platform but also
Mhm.
configuration and UX design. That's
Right.
one area. I think second again area where it has got accelerated post pandemic is that there's an increased focus on data mining. Okay. Pandemic has taught us that there are the very new and creative ways now you need to reach out to your customers, right? And you to increase your sales and revenue. So companies focusing a lot in terms of data mining, and there are more and more demand right now for data modelers who have very good quantitative statistical knowledge and digital technology skills on their side. So that's a second area what I would call about. I think third area where there is a lot of premium is on security. Whether it is cyber security or data security or technology security, that's an area where there is a lot of work coming our way, and that's an area where we need a lot of talent who can design security platforms.
Interesting. So cool. So I think the three takeaways were the cloud engineers, the data modelers, and the security folks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. I think I have heard a lot of people, who have an interest in knowing how someone would define the work culture at Accenture, which I think for an entry-level engineer or a management graduate or anyone, I think what today matters the most is the culture.
Yeah.
How would you be defining the culture at Accenture?
Yeah, Tarun, I think when you said that it's most important for talent, of what matters to them is the culture. Actually, I'll tell you the reality is that at many times I've seen that very young talent, they get carried away with a very myopic view only of compensation or job title.
Absolutely agree with you. Correct.
Okay. And I strongly believe that your decision to choose your first organization should not be based only your myopic view of what salary the company is offering. Okay. See, there is something called a total opportunity or a total reward. Okay. Which is a combination of the work culture, which unleash your potential, and where you really feel energetic to work and contribute every day. There are a lot of benefits which goes beyond your compensation. And currently, companies are investing a lot in benefits post-pandemic too, which are more focused on your physical, mental well-being and your health and safety. Okay. Third, very important aspect is the learning and your opportunities for career growth. Okay. Imagine you join an organization where you got a good compensation, but you have to spend every penny from your pocket for learning and growth. Okay. Learning new technologies. So that's the third area. And I think it's very important that you choose a workplace where you are able to bring your wholesome self, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And express yourself, maybe.
Yeah. So I would encourage young talent to choose the organizations wisely. Look at the total value package is what you are getting, and do connect to your alumni network and ask questions. Ask about the work culture, ask about benefits, ask about learning, ask them about how does it feel coming to workplace every day. I think you should base your decision of selecting an organization based on that. Okay, that's my in general advice to any young talent whom I interact with. Now, talking more precisely about Accenture work culture, if you receive if you read or Google on Accenture website, we say that we are the one who deliver on the promise of technology and human ingenuity. Okay.
Can you repeat that for me? I think that is interesting. Can you repeat that for me, please?
Yeah. So deliver on the promise of technology and human ingenuity. Okay. That means that we believe in human beings bringing their creative best at workplace, who can have a limitless imagination to make an impact not only to the client but to larger community. Okay. So significant focus is what we really pay is on unleashing your potential. Okay. In the current time, what we say is that when our model is looking to more hybrid model, people are working from home, we say that the organization should be able to provide you an platform where you are able to unleash your potential. And especially when young talent, when we hire from engineering colleges, we invest a lot on their learning, on their foundation. Okay, including we have a very structured learning path, and where we handle them for first 2 years, right, to ensure that they are the one who become or they are very effective in their role as an engineer, and they're able to broaden their skills in vast area of technologies. Okay, and also develop their functional skills. Okay, and we also invest a lot in what we call the fast track career path. So, if a talent who really has demonstrated higher learning agility, better performance, that person is not binded by time in role. Okay, we provide a very customized, faster career growth opportunities. That's the very first aspect of our culture. I think second very important aspect of our culture, which is very relevant now in the current pandemic time, is your workplace. The workplace, which is we call as a phygital workplace, where people are able to collaborate, where
Mhm.
organization is investing in digital tools not only to drive employee innovation, but also collaborate, interact, and build social bond. So we are the one where we call proudly say that we are an organization which have built a very modern workplace for all our employees currently. Third very important aspect of our culture is a culture of innovation, uh, culture where everyone feels that they can contribute uh, boundaryless with unlimited opportunities.
Right.
And fifth very important aspect of our culture is our culture of diversity and inclusion. Okay, if you read about and talk to your friend and network, we are the most say inclusive organization and more responsible organization when it comes to driving agenda of diversity and inclusion. Now, by year 2025, we'll be a gender equal organization. Okay,
Wow.
whether it is a person who come from a different economical background or different diverse ability, we embrace all of them, and we have a very structured investment through a learning program where we make them industry ready or a job ready. And if by any circumstances there are students who are not able to find right kind of investment to get industry ready and job ready, we run a lot of programs throughout the year to ensure that person with different economic background and diverse uh, ability background are successful at Accenture.
Interesting. So,
Okay.
I think this is my summary to the folks. Ki if you are looking to unleash your potential, here is the entry. Okay, and Rohit and team will be excited to invest
Yeah.
in you for your learning purposes, right? And
Right, right,
that again, Rohit, today I think you are actually, taking this session on an absolute high note where you are mentioning this that by 2025 you will be a gender equal organization. It's a very powerful statement to make. Great. I'm sure a leadership has got plans in place, right, and executions in place. Now, coming to the final one, I'll say the summary question for all these entry level folks. You mentioned what technologies are going to be there today, tomorrow, and the year after. How they should be looking to crack their first job, right?
Okay.
That I think they need to know this from you. That
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
On the other side of the table, you are there,
Uh,
but they are actually throwing the same question to you. So yeah, please.
Okay, I would like to expand it. It's not only about cracking your first job, it's
Yeah.
also about being successful in your first job. Okay, so irrespective of whatever education stream you come from, okay, one thing you need to, which I did mention some time back, is that uh, you need to invest a time in understanding the industry around you, right? As I mentioned to you, that programming skill is important, but let's say, for example, tomorrow you're working on a particular solution which has to be developed for a banking industry. Now,
Right.
you should read about how banking industry operate, what are the services they have, uh, what are the various customer interfaces they have, how do they serve their customer, what kind of solutions they need to provide to your customer. So it's very important that you graduate from a lab environment of learning to understand the industry, so that tomorrow when you are working to develop a particular product or a solution, it's very important that you are able to bring a much broader perspective to any tech solution which you are building or implementing. Okay, so that is the first set of advice to the engineers. I think second, my advice to the young engineers is that, which I always mentioned earlier also, is that be an agile learner. Okay, technology is constantly changing now. Don't restrict yourself to college curriculum.
Hmm.
Don't be a chatur of three idiot, but be a rancho. Okay.
That's a
So,
good
so
one.
focus on acquiring knowledge.
Right.
All right. Always have curiosity to learn.
Right.
Okay. And believe me, it could go, could any age group. Like if we really invest our time in learning new things, right? We remain intelligent throughout our life. Our brain motor function is, is much more efficient. It's very important that we, all of us, irrespective of whatever age group are, we are always a keen learner. Okay. Third very important thing which I would say to a young talent is that, learn and invest a lot and understand the value of networking. Okay.
Nice.
Now, when you join a very large organizations, what happens is that at times you feel lost, right? There are
Right.
talent who say that I want to join startup, talent who want to really build a career in large organization. See, the mantra of success in large organization is how are you able to build your network. Okay, it's very important that you invest a lot of time in your networking skills, and your college itself provide a lot of opportunities for that. Right, with a lot of events happening, lot of corporate interface happening. Actively participate, understand the value of networking, because when you network, what you're doing is that you're also creating sponsors for yourself in the organization. You're
Absolutely.
able to navigate your way when you face any hurdle. Okay,
True.
you have your sponsors, right? And then you're also able to tap vast opportunities which would be more visible if you are well networked person in organization. So
Cool.
focus a lot on your networking. So this is the three piece of advice of me to all talent is that spend time in understanding industry, be an agile learner, and learn the value of networking.
Cool. And if I have to take the other perspective, don't be the Chatur of three idiots, be the Rancho of three idiots. Cool. So we are actually receiving a lot of questions, and I just want to ask two quick questions from you. One is, a lot of time you mentioned that your plans of hiring are clear for on campus and all. What are the opportunities for off campuses? That is one. And second, what are the criterias which Accenture has put on to hire the entry level folks?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
So we are currently hiring engineering talent of 2020 and 2021 pass out.
Okay.
These are the hiring demands which we have open right now for joining
Mhm.
starting November. So November till the month of May is for the time when we will have this off-campus hiring. Okay,
Okay.
we call it more direct hiring than off-campus hiring. That means that the talent would have direct access to all the opportunities which are posted on social media channels. They can apply. I did talk about our assessment process some time back, and once you qualify through all our assessment, and then we have an onboarding plan for your talent from this month October till next year for talent who are 2020 and 2021 graduate. Now talking about the eligibility criteria, our hiring program is open to all engineering student who have a valid engineering degree, and that's
Okay.
another mindset which I have which I strongly believe, and that's my personal belief, is that it's not your percentage in CGPA which determine your potential, right?
Mhm.
It's what you learn, right? I have realized a lot of people who would have not, they not be 9.9 in their CGPA, they could be possibly 6.5 in the CGPA, but they are possibly doing better because they have invested a lot in their self learning. Okay, so we moved away from a CGPA or a percentage based selection criteria. You need to have a valid
Okay.
engineering degree, and you
Mhm.
need to clear all the assessments what we have. Okay, I think
So
that's a very basic.
is it a fair assumption that even if, let's say, just asking for that nth student who might be thinking, okay, रोहित ने अभी 6 बोल दिया है, क्या 5.7 को कंसीडर करेंगे, क्या 5.8 को कंसीडर करेंगे, क्या with the valid degree, with of course the valid degree?
We are saying
Yeah,
that you need to have engineering degree. You need to be
absolutely.
engineering degree, and you should have you should not have any active backlog at this point in time when you apply.
Cool.
That's the only requirement what we have.
Cool. Cool.
Okay.
I think these were so many questions. And where do you think that you'll be going for the off campus for 2022? When do you think you are going
Okay.
to do
Okay.
that?
Okay. That's again a shift which we have made, saying that good talent is everywhere. Okay. So we don't
Right.
restrict our direct hiring to any one college. You
Okay.
could be engineering student from any college in the country. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Your college would not have the best of the industry network. Your college would not have the best of placement opportunity.
Right.
But do scan the jobs which are posted on social media channels and you can apply directly. It just doesn't matter which college you are from. What matter is that are you able to crack all the assessment which we have built, and are you able to clear the interview, and are you the one who qualified to get an offer from Accenture? That's the only criteria.
Brilliant, brilliant. I think this will be a great breather for a lot of folks where they do not have the existing relationship with the organizations such as yours. I think they will be much relieved after listening to you. Thank you so very much, Rohit. Trust me, I don't know about the other folks who are listening to you live, but I have personally learned a lot. Right, one thing which you told about were the power skills. Right, I actually found it very, very interesting. Second, you mentioned that by 2025 you are going to be the gender equal organization. Again, that is very powerful. Third, I think if I have to sum it up for the entry level folks, choose the organization which can unleash your potential, as well as who can invest in you for your overall success, which is the total package, right? So cool, cool. Thank you so very much for your valuable time, Rohit. I think we are delighted to have you here with us today.
Thanks, Tarun. It was a pleasure to talk to me to young talent today, and I wish them all the best as they start looking for opportunities in market. And wish you all the best.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you so very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good day ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.